without being misled by flashy real estate properties, without being misled by flashy return on investment, without being misled by well-meaning family members, and without being misled by wrong advice. This will work for you, even if you are 1,000 miles away from Nigeria, meaning either you are in a diaspora, a high net individual who lives in Nigeria. This presentation will work for you. Are you a first-time buyer? Are you a returning buyer? This presentation will work for you. So I want you to pay attention to what I want to share with you. This is something that has worked for numerous number of my clients, those who have worked with me. It has helped them, it has saved them, it will save you, and likewise it will guide you on the right real estate investment that you can invest in. I've seen several number of people, right, intelligent investors, politicians, doctors, lawyers, etc., who has invested billions of naira in real estate. And this investment is something that is supposed to make them rich, but at the end of the day, they end up in regret. Why do they end up in regret? Why are they feeling bad with respect to their real estate investment? What I'm going to discuss with you now is what is going to guide you. As I've said, is going to help you on how to make this right real estate investment. My name is Bash. I'm the founder of Real Estate Doctors Enterprise Limited. We are in the business of making life beautiful. I will introduce you to how we got started, how we arrived at Real Estate Doctors Enterprise Limited, how we arrived at the diagnosis system we are prescribing to. Despite the fact that I didn't start real estate here in Nigeria, but I started as a young man, very hungry and quite ambitious. But one thing I believe was my responsibility based on what I see with respect to my superiors doing worse. My responsibility was just to connect buyers to sellers, close deals, and move on to the next transaction. What I see in the sector was speed was the currency. Agreeability, I agree with everything that client says was the strategy. One common phrase we always hear from directors, real estate agents to client is yes sir, yes ma'am. That was the standard. That was the strategy. Oftentimes, I realized that what directors want to do is just to get his commission. Family representative, they just want to get their cut. And at the end of the day, you see the client going home happy, believing that they've closed the right day. But deep down within me, I know they've not closed the right day. Why? Because I realized that the right questions are not asked. Question with respect to their return on investment, question with respect to their lifestyle, questions with respect to their family structure, question with respect to their financial status, question with respect to their real estate investment status, etc., etc. I believe that when these questions are not being asked, there is no way you can arrive at a satisfying result because the processes are not aligned. This becomes a problem to me. I see clients who buy into real estate properties, who buy into brochures. One particular one, I saw someone who bought the property, a 3-bedroom property for 90 million. Whereas I can give this same client a 4-bedroom duplex, okay, in the same estate, in the same environment. So why are you opting for the 3-bedroom that is crampy, that is not well spacious, or because that is what is being presented to you, or because that is what you saw on the listing online? Okay, so this became a very big issue. I started thinking, because of this, I lost a lot of clients. I lost a lot of reference because directors are not ready to work with me because they believe that I'm asking deep questions that can trigger the client's decision, that can elongate the client's decision. So I decided to, okay, what do I need to do? I moved into other aspects of the sector. I started marketing, land banking. I moved into site and servicing. From there, I moved into Airbnb. From there, I moved into investment planning. So I was just moving from one place to the other, unknown to me that there is a direction my destiny was heading me to. So after going through all this, I still realized that the same thing that I was experiencing with respect to selling or develop property was still the same thing I'm facing in other sector of the real estate. So the question is, what do I need to do? How do I bridge this gap with expertise, with honesty and integrity. That became a question. One day, something happened. I got a call from a risk manager of the bank who called me, a top bank, one of the top banks in Nigeria. She called me and she told me she wants a property. She wants a 4-bedroom property. When she called me and said, okay, no problem. I called her, we meet, I asked her questions. She was so humble to listen to me, to answer my questions. Do you know that this is someone who wanted to buy a 4-bedroom finished duplex? But do you know that after qualifying her, after asking questions with respect to return on investment, your lifestyle, family structure, financial status, I was able to give him something that is not complete in a different location, far from where she was opting her money, her budget will get her. So that was game changer. That was when I had that confidence that yes, what I'm thinking of definitely is working. For you to convince a risk manager of a bank to change from what she wants to what you believe is best for her. To cut the long story short, 6 months later, she called me and she thanked me. She invited me out and she introduced me to her other friend. Then something dawned on me. I realized that the problem with respect to real estate in Nigeria is not all about the market, not understanding the customer's wants in order for you to satisfy their needs. Two, I realized that until you understand the similarity between your mind and land, there is nothing you can do with respect to your investment. So with this, I talk about who take care of man. A doctor take care of me as a man. Then, if a doctor should take care of me as a man, I need a doctor to take care of my real estate. So that was how we arrived at Real Estate Doctors Enterprise Limited. Okay, we need to diagnose people before we prescribe to them what their real estate needs. Since woman and real estate have similarity, that was how we formed Real Estate Doctors Enterprise Limited. Trademark Redoc Homes, making life beautiful. Remember, I said, why did we go for making life beautiful? We went for making life beautiful because one, when your mind, the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. And the quality of your mind is a function of the quality of your environment, which is the real estate. You can see that they all work together. So there are 3 secrets that I want to discuss with you. And these secrets are basic reasons, the root reasons why a lot of investors make mistakes with respect to their investment. These 3 secrets are belief systems. First of this belief system is the vehicle belief. What do I mean vehicle belief? A lot of people believe that I already know what I want. I know what I want to buy. I know the real estate, the property I want to buy. I just need someone who can close the deal for me. But oftentimes, I've realized that a lot of people don't really know what they really want, what they really need. The fact remains that because you see a property or a real estate investment online, or because someone sends you the brochure, okay, maybe a developer sends you the brochure, or maybe because you see it on your family, on your family friend WhatsApp, that doesn't mean that real estate is that project or that property is the right property for you. There are things that you need to pay attention to when a situation like this arises. Okay, first thing is, I've realized that a lot of people know what they want, but they've not been able to identify what they need. And a lot of real estate agents, records, they won't discuss this with you because they know that it's going to cost them their commission. See, what you want is different from what you need. Okay? A lot of real estate agents only follow you up based on what you want. But is that really what you need? In my decade of experience, I've realized that a lot of clients who send me brochure or send me a property they see online, at the end of the day, when we diagnose them with respect to their want, we realize that this is not what they need. Okay, let me share a story with you. There was a time a client of mine who I've done business with before introduced someone to. Okay, this is someone who doesn't live in Nigeria. This person lives abroad. He sent me a property that they want to buy. I will come to Nigeria and I will come and see the property. That was the end of the story. When he came to Nigeria to check the property, he understood perfectly what I've been talking about. He paid for the land, we closed the deal. After closing the deal, today he's living happily in that environment. Thanking me. The question is, this is what I mean by vehicle belief system. He has already believed that he has gotten the right property. But when we have a conversation, I have to stress test his belief. I have to stress test what he wants, okay, in order for it to give what he needs. Okay, I have to examine, I have to diagnose all his belief system. Imagine I didn't go through that route. Imagine I didn't ask those qualifying questions. What do you think will be the end of his investment? He's going to regret it later on in future, because then we now realize that this is not the environment that wants to be. Someone at that age, there are things that this is someone that have worked for over 60 something or 40 something years. Okay, now he should be thinking of a retiring environment whereby he can go and play long tennis, basketball. You have already seen this property. So he sent it to my client that this property, I like it. But his brother said, before I will take decision, let me send it to Bash and let Bash check this property for us. Remember, I said he's a medical doctor. That tells you he's an intelligent person, but he lives abroad. When the brother sent the property to me, I drove down there myself. I didn't send my staff, I drove down there myself. I checked the property. After seeing the property, I said, I looked at this property. This is just a flashy property. I told the brother, I requested for the medical doctor's phone number. He released it to me. He sent my phone number to the medical doctor, who called me, and we started having conversation. In the course of having conversation with him, I try and find out questions with respect to his lifestyle, his plan, his future plan, his family structure, what real estate investment has he invested into before now. We have several conversations trying to diagnose what exactly will match his lifestyle, what exactly will match his future plan, what exactly will match the return on investment. At the end of the day, I realized that this environment will not suit this man. Why did I say that? See, one thing we don't realize is, there are environments that suit each and every investor. There are environments that suit people. I always say this way. There are environments that fit a 65 years old man who falls sick consistently. There are likewise environments that suit a man who always go to police station, okay, or who is scared, who has security issues, okay. At the end of the day, I realized that this environment doesn't suit this man. So I told him, I said, sir, this environment is not the right environment for you. He looked at me, he pushed back. Why? Because he has already invested some amount of money in that deal. Okay, I told him, don't worry, I will find a way to get your money back. But this is something that if I should prescribe, if I should accept this property for you, that means at the end of the day, later on in years to come, you will regret this. And it's still going to fall back to me, because if you look as if I didn't give you the best advice. He said, okay, no problem. This is someone that has seen a property online. He has tried, he has confirmed the property. He's already even talking to the developer. That's to tell you the level at which they've got into. So I told him, I said, don't worry, I will see what I can do. I called the brother who introduced him to him, and I told him, this is what is happening. So I look out for a very good environment that will satisfy his status, because this is someone that is about to retire. You don't expect him to go and stay in an environment whereby young guys in their 30s, in their 40s, early 30s, early 40s are living. It doesn't match. So I told the brother that at the end of it, when I discussed with his brother, he said, okay, what property do I have for him? This is someone that wanted to buy a complete building. I took him entirely out of his plan, and I took him to an environment whereby people of his status, people of his class are living. Here, the amount that he's going to spend in buying that property that he sent to his brother to send to me, that amount is over half a billion naira. Okay, this amount is what I'm prescribing to him to buy only a land in the new environment I'm telling him. Now, the brother that even introduced him to me, when I discussed with him that, see, this is what I'm diagnosing, this is what I'm prescribing, to your brother, he pushed back that, no, how will someone that wants to invest over $500,000 in a property, that amount is what I'm now suggesting to him to go and invest in only in land. So how much are we going to use to build this property? He told me, oh no, look for a land that is around 200 million naira. I didn't. Now I have the direct contact of the mandate of the person that is the direct link to the buyer. So I spoke to the man and I explained to him. He said, no problem. These are the kind of environment this kind of person should go into. I believe what I'm explaining to you, you understand me. Okay. The first thing I've identified in my years, okay, almost a decade here in real estate, is one of the reasons why a lot of people make wrong investment is based on their vehicle belief. And this belief comes from one, no, I know what I want. No, you are not the right person to tell me what I want. But at the end of it, we realize that what you want is different from what you need. Okay, so number 2 is internal belief system. This is the belief system whereby I don't have enough money or I don't have enough knowledge to invest in prime real estate. See, this mindset is always very silent. It's creepy. Okay, it makes you feel safe. It wants to position you to be safe. Okay. But now, when it positions you to be safe, it now drags you, it now pushes you into going for property that are affordable, okay, property that are available. And see, as I often say, because the property is affordable, because the property is available, that doesn't mean it is acceptable. Okay, because see, one thing people fail to realize is that when you open up your budget to your doctor, to your real estate doctor, he knows the right soil that he needs to invest that money in, okay, in order for you to have a good return on investment. Or is in the market and you understand the right environment, based on your lifestyle, based on his diagnosis, he knows the right place to put your investment. But see, a lot of investors who always have that mindset, I realize that at the end of the day, they even spend more than what they think they are managing. What, for example, you that is investing in a property whereby the titles are not right, okay, or the environment is not conducive for you, because you are trying to cut expenses, you are trying to cut costs. At the end of the day, you are still going to spend more. For example, you are investing in a property that doesn't have a title. What will be the end of it? You are still going to spend more, okay, in order for you to rectify that property. At the end of the day, you might even lose the property. And if you don't lose the property, you realize that you even spend more on that property than when you invest on the right one. When you invest on the one that suits the prescription that we are giving to you. I've seen several people who fall into this category. I've seen a lot of investors, a lot of clients who, because they want to play it safe, they fall into this kind of category. Okay, the reality remains that what you need is not just your budget. You need the right person that will give you the right direction. See, this is how I always put it. The difference between a wealthy man, okay, and a struggling man who wants to invest in real estate is not the budget. It's all about the right soil that they need to invest that money into. The soil might be rocky, the soil might be unstable, but when you have the right person, he will take you to the right soil, the fertile soil that you need to invest your money into. I've seen people who want to come and invest in our land banking project, okay, and I realize that this is not the right soil for you to invest in. Despite that it belongs to us, I still need to redirect them into the right soil that they need to invest into. See, what I will always say with respect to the class of people with this kind of mindset is you need the right soil for you to invest your money into. And for you to have the right soil, you need the right real estate doctor. You don't need a real estate agent. You need someone who can protect you. Okay, who can protect you. Because see, oftentimes, one of the greatest things I've realized with a lot of investors is the property you invest in today might be the property that will stand as a barrier to where you need to invest in tomorrow. It will stand as a barrier to what you need tomorrow. Okay, so the number 3 secret I'm going to expose to you today is external belief system. This is a false belief system that I always get investors to say. I have a family handling it. I have a lawyer handling it. Okay? I have someone on ground. So, therefore, I do not need an independent expert. See, what I always tell them is, no matter what, businesses have internal auditors. Despite they have internal auditors, they still seek out for external auditors. And from my experience, I have realized that this is one of the belief systems that cause the most shocking heartbreak. Okay, and I don't like talking about it often because see, the best people who can protect you when it comes to your investment are your family members, are your lawyers. Okay, but see, one thing we need to understand is wrong advice, wrong guidance from a right person is disastrous. Because see, this is real estate, and real estate involves huge amounts of money. Okay, one thing I always tell investors in this situation is see, love and trust doesn't mix experience. Loyalty doesn't represent expertise. Let me repeat myself. Love and trust doesn't represent experience. Okay? Loyalty doesn't represent expertise. I know you have family members that you love. I know you have family representatives that you believe will protect you. But do they have experience? Are they experts in this kind of situation, in prime real estate investment? So that is why I always advise investors to look out for independent expertise, people like us who can help you, who can diagnose your situation, who can diagnose your lifestyle, who can diagnose your other real estate investment, who can diagnose your family structure, okay, and they will give you the best prescription. When I hear cases of people who invested through their family member, through their sister's brother, and at the end of the day, it turns sour, nobody wants to go through that. See, I have a lot of situations like this. I have a lot of cases like this. Let me remind you of one. The client that introduced his medical doctor brother to me, Okay, do you know that when I even told him that this is the amount that we are going to use to buy the land, he pushed back because he's saying that he's looking for something around 200 million naira. But I am here suggesting amount that is over $500 million. This is the amount that they can use to buy that they want to use to buy the previous property. That is why I said love and trust is not experience. Loyalty is not expertise. If you don't want to lose your money, if you want to keep your hard-earned money, if you want to invest on the right soil, okay, so that your seed, okay, may bear harvest, you need to get an expertise. See, the fact remains that professional diagnosis, you can't compare it to emotional diagnosis. What do I mean? Professional diagnosis supersedes emotional relationship when it comes to real estate investment. That is why you need to call us. You need to contact us today on any of the real estate investment you are planning to invest in. Are you a returning investor? Are you a first-time investor? Are you in diaspora? Are you in a high net worth individual in real estate? Are you an aspiring real estate investor? You need to give us a call today. Let's have a conversation with respect to your want. So that we can use it to define your need. Remember what I told you. I said prescription without cross-examination and diagnosis of our client's purpose, of our client's budget, of our client's wants will not satisfy the customer needs. Your family member, your lawyers cannot ask the questions related to your budget, with respect to your lifestyle, with respect to your want, okay, and with respect to your purpose, in order for them to use it to satisfy, to get you the right need you need at this particular time. Secondly, one of the things I've experienced is people who involve lawyers. I'm not saying it's bad to involve lawyers, but I've seen situations whereby you want to do an investment in Lagos. You are looking for a lawyer in Abia State. You are looking for a lawyer in Anambra. You are looking for a lawyer in Imo State. You are looking for a lawyer in Edo State. A lawyer that doesn't operate within the terrain of a place that you want to invest in is disastrous. Okay? Involving your family member, I'm not saying it's wrong, but along the line, involve an independent expert. Now, I want to discuss it. I want to share with you what I'm going to make available for you in this offer. Okay? After almost a decade experience in real estate, practically prime real estate, I realized the strengths, the weakness, and the opportunity and threats of a lot of my investors. That is why I decided to create this Redoc Homes investment diagnosis, okay, which is going to be something that a lot of investors are penny wise, pounds foolish, in the sense that they always believe that I can do it myself. I have someone that can do it for me. I don't need an expert. I don't need an independent expert. And this has been costing a lot of investors a lot of money. They've lost millions to billions of naira. This diagnosis is something that will help you. It will help your mind, okay? It will expose your mind even to things that you've never thought about. Let me share with you what you're going to benefit in this diagnosis. Number one, for my time, okay, for me to have a personal property diagnosis session with you, whereby you spend a one-on-one time with me, is going to cost you nothing less than 350,000 naira. Okay. Number two is I need to conduct a thorough search on your purpose, okay, budget and wants. Okay, I need to know what is your purpose. Diagnosing, conducting proper search, okay, proper conversation with respect to, okay, your budget, your purpose, and your want. That alone will cost you nothing less than 35,000 naira. That is the value for that. Okay, it's market intelligence. As I've told you, see, because a property is available, because a property is affordable, that doesn't mean it is presentable to you. That doesn't mean it should be acceptable to you. Okay, I'm not here to show you a listing. I'm not here to show you a property. Okay, but we need to know, discuss. Okay, we have a conversation. We create a mental picture of what will be suitable to you. Okay, for my market intelligence search alone, I value that for the rate of 75,000 naira. Okay, after then, let's discuss, which is number 4, with respect to documentation, title confirmation. What are the questions you need to ask your lawyers? This alone costs you 50,000 naira. That is number 4. All these are all in what I'm presenting to you. Finally, number 5, which is environment. We have to talk about your environment and lifestyle fit. Okay, what environment will be beneficial to you? As I've said, the environment that someone that falls sick from time to time needs to live in is different from the environment someone that is security conscious will live in. Okay, just like I saved that my medical doctor, the medical doctor I shared with you at the beginning of this conversation, how I saved him, how I diverted his mind, okay, to something else. Okay, same thing I'm going to do. And for this alone will cost you 80,000 naira. Okay, apart from that, see, at the end of this conversation, okay, at the end of this diagnosis, at the end of the day, you might realize that the property you are even thinking might not be the property I will describe to you. The one you saw online, the one you think is the best for your budget, might not even pay what I'm going to present. So I'm going to save you from a lot of mistakes that a lot of investors are making. So if you're an aspiring investor, you are a returning investor, a first-time investor, okay, you live in diaspora, you are high net worth individual, this diagnostics session is for you. Finally, this is something that is a bonus to any one of you, especially if you are looking for distressed property. There are some property that you don't put online, that you don't list online. There are some information that you don't get on Google. Okay, these informations I will expose those information to you. Those property that you don't know, that even before they launch it, like some of our estate, before we launch it, we will be the first set of people that will be informed. This alone cost you millions of dollars. When we calculate in total, everything I'm going to share with you in this diagnosis session is almost 1,500,000 naira, which is almost 2 million naira. But if you apply today, if you want us to have a conversation today, I'm doing this for you for free today. Tomorrow, the price might change. So take advantage of this. I don't want people, I'm tired of seeing people crying. In closing, I will be transparent with you. I work with a careful number of people because the time I'm going to spend with you is time that I need to ask quality questions. Take advantage of this time, okay? So I will be waiting for you to hear from you. Bye for now.